Hello, baby gangsters. This is Calvin, also known as Omer, and this is my first ever playthrough of Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney, Spirit of Justice, and it's still, it's been like a whole day since I recorded the last episode, and still, it's very difficult to look at Maya being sad in this moment. It's never going to not be difficult. May 10th, Detention Center. Let's talk to Maya. Oh my god, she perks up as soon as she sees us. Are you serious? The sun herself. Oh, it's you, Nick. Maya, are you okay? The question wasn't too harsh, was it? No, I'm alright. How about you? Make any progress? Well, I haven't found any conclusive evidence that could prove your innocence, but I have a small lead. Really? Oh my god, the happiness in her face. But for right now, I'd like to ask you about the High Priest. Sure, ask away. By the way, what's the princess doing with you still, Nick? Doesn't she have anything better to do? Oh my god. Doesn't seem like it. I heard that. How rude. Of course I have many other things I could be doing. And I think that one of the things is that, maybe we're going to learn over time. I get the hint, especially after seeing her father and her mother, that a lot of, the stuff that she has in her jobs and maybe the stuff she has to do is kind of like a lot of figurehead stuff, because still, they don't give her all the information. They don't give her all the history. So I wonder where that's going to lead to. It's almost like they give their kid a bunch of toys that are really important, and they let her just go about her business, but without the proper parenting, that's why I feel sorry for her. Is that she has all this power, but without any of the sense of real responsibility because of the bad parenting. You know what I mean? Because where her parents are right now. Let's talk about the High Priest. It's just a thought, but do you think the High Priest could have been a rebel? A rebel? Why would you even think that? Because if he was, then the rebel hunter Lady Kira would have had a motive to kill him. What? Oh, Princess Rafe overheard me. What idiocy is this? Abbott in me a rebel? It is beyond the pale. My mother has offered the prayer of lament to his soul. That is the sort of person he was. And, here's the thing. I've no doubt that he was, I want to talk to the rebels because, as you guys know, I'm very pro-rebellion. And I don't think they have to be mutually exclusive right now, right? At least right now. I know that there are going to be bad people in the rebellion, but it's very clear if he was a good person who cared about people, who was very good, then there's something to the rebellion side that they're not just this evil thing that people are portraying them to be all the time, right? That's why I want to talk to Dirk so badly, right? So badly. What did he do with the defense stuff? And and again, she's coming at this from the perspective well, she wouldn't have done that if he wasn't if he was a bad person. But the thing is, if she didn't know about it, she still could have done it, It's not like she's all seeing and all omnipotent. All right. I was just raising the possibility. I will not listen to such tomfoolery. Again, oh, she stormed out. Oh well, nothing we could do about that. I mean, it's probably for the best. The thing is, about this stuff with Rafa, though, I've talked about it, it's a great dynamic. It's a great dynamic in terms of the story writing, to have someone who, is so stuck in her ways, but it not only let us learn about Rafa a bit more, but also added, a different dynamic to the idea of exploring and studying stuff, because we were able to get, a little bit of info out of her, carer and her nanny or whatever it was, while also at the same time, too, we had, a lot of conflict. That's just interesting to watch. It is interesting to watch. But it's probably for the best. Do you call the High Priest do anything suspicious? Come to think of it, he seemed unusually restless during the rite. He kept glancing up at the sky, though I have no idea why. He was restless and kept looking up at the sky. Can I say as well, when it comes to the idea of what I'm saying that, maybe the rebellion people have done bad, I'm not saying that, by the way, for me, ousting a corrupt ruler, I don't see it as immoral, personally. You know what I mean? I don't see that as immoral, personally. People have done that throughout history. Again, like I said, my own country attempted to remove an entire government from our country, so I'm not going to see it as a bad thing. But what I was saying is that, Dirk, I'm saying that there is a possibility that there is some bad people in the group, but that's why I want to talk to them, because I want to learn about the rebellion, learn how they feel. But like I said, if it comes down to it, and they're literally fighting against, because we know this system is corrupt, we know this country is corrupt, we know it is. If they're fighting against that, how can I really doubt them, That's why I want to talk to Dirk so badly. That doesn't really tell us much, does it? Anything else come to mind? Looking up at the sky, though. Sorry, that's about it. Guess this is all I'm going to learn about the High Priest right now. Oh, but there is one thing I should follow up on. which is... I want to keep my spirit channeling ability a secret while I'm here, Nick. What? Why? I'll, explain later. With Princess Rafa gone, this might be my only chance to ask about the spirit channeling stuff, okay? Maya, about what you said earlier, why can't you tell anyone about you're able to channel spirits? Oh, that. You know how all the queens are also spirit mediums here? I heard it was kind of a shock at first, though. In Kurnism, spirit channel is a secret art that can only be performed by the queen. Oh. So they might see that as blasphemy or like some sort of like devilry, you know, that you're able to do this. No one else is supposed to be able to do it. I see. So spirit channeling is a symbol of power and authority then in that sense. Because in an ideal world, they would see Maya as an authority, right? In an ideal world, they'd be like, oh my god, she's able to do this too? But this isn't an ideal world, and they probably would see it as like, yeah, as I said, devilry. I can see why it would look bad if nobody from another country were able to do it, too. Spirit channeling in the Korean tradition was developed from a Kurnish style that was brought to the US via Japan. But it seems like my clan's spiritual power is greater than that of the average Kurnish. Oh, really? So her power is so powerful that it's like even greater than like any, you know, random channeler. It may be a quirk due to our styles diverge, but I don't really know. So if the spirit channeling is a power possessed by only the queens of Karain, and it's a power that somehow made its way down the line to Maya, then I guess that makes Queen Garan and Princess Rafa distant relatives of Maya? I didn't even think of it that way. But it'd be really distant, right? Because all the transferring of the clans and all the, you know, because the way she said it here was, it was developed from Kurnish style and was brought to US via Japan. So by that logic, it was passed down from different families to different families and all this stuff too. So yeah, distant relatives, I guess, would make sense. Anyway, it's not like there's some kind of rule about it. But like, what's crazy is like, again, in an ideal world, they would be like, oh, family. You know what I mean? But like, instead, they would probably try to oust it, you know? Because any type of thing that probably would go against their ideas and their ideals would be ousted. It's just, I'd rather not have it become an issue or anything. That's why mediums who become to train hide the fact that they can channel spirits. I see. I had no idea it was so complicated. Either way, training here is a must to fulfill the qualifications needed to become the master. And what is the qualification to become a master? To be able to channel spirits of one's own volition without fail every time. So she already has passed, but she's like building up to doing it again? Like, remember how many spirit channeling was? Remember how much? Oh, no. Okay, I get what she's saying. So she's saying she has to do it perfectly. I only ever succeeded about 30% of the time. Yeah, and it was more like spirits possessed her as opposed to her channeling them. Yeah, the time with Mia. But Mia did it to Pearls as well, right? So you can do it every single time now whenever you want. That's pretty crazy. Yep. At least I think. Well, look, have some faith in yourself. I hate seeing her so sad. Like, she's allowed to be sad, but I hate seeing it. I really do. You think? Well, I haven't actually tried channeling anyone since I completed my training here. Makes sense. Once I get back home, I plan on taking the final spirit medium test. I mean, like, she wouldn't be able to channel anyone because she would be ousting herself as well, right? I'll have to try channeling one spirit after another in a marathon of channeling sessions. Well, if you could do that, I believe in you. Only those who pass the test are worthy of becoming the master, huh? Yeah, but I know I can do it. I'm going to ace that test to become the next master. Maya, I am behind you 100% of the way, always. After all, I can't let my clan and the other villagers down. The funny thing is, I have so much faith in Maya. I really do. So, like, there's not even a doubt in my mind that she's going to be able to get to the place she wants to be in life. Right. Maya's the next big hope of Korean village. That's got to be a lot of pressure. Yeah, true. That is it's the pressure aspect as well, because then you have, like, all these people back home relying on you and all the weight of their hopes on your shoulders as well. So the thought here is not only I'm going to die and lose my life, I'm going to die and maybe let some people down. It's I'm going to die and the hope of my clan dies with me. That's brutal. Absolutely brutal. So speaking of similarities, I've noticed another similarity between our countries besides the spear channeling. I saw a show on TV earlier that reminded me of the Steel Samurai. It was me, the plumed Punisher, warrior of Neo Twilight Realm. She looks very excited to talk about this. Okay, we're going to talk about this. This might be important for the story then. So you've already seen the plumed Punisher? You really don't miss a beat. Actually, it was her benevolence who told me all about it. There is not a single person in Karain who does not know of it. Oh, your benevolence, you're back. She heard a Plume Punisher and ran in. As the royal priestess, I'm charged with monitoring your movements. That's so interesting, right? She went out really frustrated, right? Upset. And then was like, oh no, I have to do this. I have to go in and watch his movements. So, I've changed my mind. For in order to fulfill my duty, I must not avert my ears, not even from your blasphemous theories. Oh my god. And I think it's like, again, it showcases that, like, I'm not just saying about, like, 14-year-olds, like, is not going to be able to, like, but it's the truth. She's a kid. Controlling her emotions is difficult. I'm hell, there's adults in this game that that can't control their emotions. So, like, this idea, like, it actually makes an interesting character detail that she was like, I'm not listening to this. And as she was walking in the hallway, she was like, oh, it's my job, though, isn't it? And she came back, you know. Her sense of duty is commendable. But I wouldn't mind if she backed off a bit. Great timing, your benevolence. There's actually something I wanted to show both of you. Oh, yeah? Show off? Maya sure seems excited all of a sudden, yeah. Yep, ta-da! What is that? Oh, it's like a little keychain? It's an ultra-rare Plume Punisher strap. There's only one of them in the whole world. Oh, it's like a strap like for your phone or something? It was specifically made to promote the TV show. You're the owner of this strap? Don't tell me you're a Plume Punisher fan too, your benevolence. No, of course not. Only little children watch that show. You are a child. I know she's a teenager, but she's a child. Like, it's okay. Look how frustrating. Again, this is the self-conscious nature that her parents have imposed on her. The fact that, like, she can't just enjoy a freaking TV show, you know, without acting like she's bigger than that, you know? Because, again, that's the way they brought her up. You're important. You can't be seen as, like, anything but important. I have no interest in such things. It's just me and Maya. We're not going to say it to anyone. Right. I'm telling the truth. Oh, she's so upset. This is her parents' fault. It's her parents' fault. 110%. Sure, let's just leave it at that. She should just be allowed to enjoy a TV show. Imagine there's an alternate world where she saw that Plume Punisher strap and said, Maya, can I see that for a second? And then they chatted about it for like an hour. You know what I mean? Like, there's an alternate world where that happened. When instead of the poor girl's getting frustrated right now. So how did you get your hands on them, Maya? I found a kindred spirit and Plume Punisher fan here in Karain. Who's that? It resulted in an exchange of cultures transcending national borders. Okay, very cool. And by culture exchange, you mean swap TV show promo merchandise? Wait, is that why the Steel Samurai bag was there? You bet I traded my Steel Samurai watch. Okay, for this drop. Okay, I thought it was going to be the bag. It's super rare watch that plays the Steel Samurai theme song when your alarm goes off. That sounds really cool. Why would you? Okay, I guess it's a cultural exchange. Really cool. But I don't know if it would give up that watch, you know? My newfound Kearney's friend was so happy I got this one-of-a-kind strap in return. I guess they both are one-of-a-kind, but I would have maybe swapped a keychain for a keychain, you know? I guess there are people that like that wherever you go, even here in Karain. Yeah, fandoms are all over the world, no matter what it is. Watch this. When you press the magnetoma on her belt, it plays the show's scene. Oh, so that is pretty cool. Okay, that's cool. That's pretty cool. That sounds like just like the Steel Samurai's theme song. What are you talking about? Can't you hear the folk instruments in the intro and the exotic tones throughout? Again, this is like, once again, why superfans are so important. Someone who never watches the show, and somebody who doesn't remember the theme songs like me could go, yeah, it does sound pretty similar, right? And the superfan's like, open your ears, you know? Plus, the Steel Samurai is the Japanese taiko drums that go, okay, daka 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 da in the intro. Yeah, I hear the difference now, for sure. Wait, this is evidence? This one-of-a-kind strap plays the Plume Punisher theme when the magnetoma is pressed on the belt. Okay. I'm right. Guess my ears just aren't as good as yours. I mean, when you watch a show for so long, you will get attuned to that type of stuff. Anyway, I have this amazing idea for a new show. Plume Punisher versus Steel Samurai. Oh, God. I mean, honestly, like, it would work. You know, if it has enough fans. I'm going to totally pitch some TV stations when I go back home. It's going to be a huge hit. Right, your benevolence? I have no interest in such things. You do. The music's really fun. Well, if nothing else, talking about the Plume Punisher has thankfully seemed to cheer my up a bit. Yeah, it's talking about your love. Like, your passions can definitely cheer you up a bit, you know? It can at least distract you. It's getting late. Try to get some sleep, okay, Maya? And leave tomorrow to me. Can you imagine, like, here's the thing. It's already tough sleeping in a jail cell. Imagine sleeping in a jail cell where it's not your home country. You know what I mean? Like, that's so difficult. I'm not just saying it's about Bahrain, but anywhere. Like, you know, if you're, like, already jail cell would be really difficult to sleep in. But imagine, like, you're in, like on holidays in Spain. You know what I mean? It's a different situation, or England or America. Because it's, like, different laws, different, you know, procedures sometimes. It's so different. It'd be really, I don't know, of course it's a prison. Thanks, Nick. I think I've covered just about everything. Time to head back to the temple and go over everything I've learned so far. You okay, Rafa? Yeah, I keep saying it, but what is it, temple? I feel so bad for Maya. It's so terrible what's happening to her, and she's keeping her spirits up for us and for herself as well, which is great. I also feel bad for Rafa. I think that I also feel bad for... no, I don't think. I know I also feel bad for the people of Bahrain to have to live under such strenuous circumstances. It's horrible. May 10th. Temple. It's getting late. Won't be long till sundown. Mr. Wright, your benevolence. It's Alvi. Are you done with your investigation for today? I think we are, right? Pretty much. I thought I'd go over what I learned so far. Care to join me? Yes, please allow me to help. Okay. First, we know that the High Priest received a warning 3 days ago. It was from someone claiming to be the Lady Kira, and it told him not to perform the rite. That's right. It was a rebel hunter, but what of it? That's what I'm not sure of yet. Why would Lady Kira want to stop the rite? That's the thing. It doesn't add up. It's like it honors Lady Kira. It is something that honors Kuranism. Why would like this rebel hunter want to so badly stop something that goes against the rebels' ideals? If you could solve that mystery, right? I could figure out her motive for threatening the High Priest. That's the thing. It's the motive. It might be the break I need. I just don't know enough right now to act on the lead. How unfortunate for you, Barbed Head. A smirk. Your only hope is pure speculation that shall not stand up in the Hall of Justice. Rafa, we walk into most courtrooms in this game with a wing and a prayer, right? And we walk out with the thing that we always strive for, and that's the verdict we want, all right? I'm telling you, it's going to be the same thing this time. Watch it not be, by the way. They've done that before where we actually have like failed, right? So like I shouldn't be acting all tough. You've no actual proof of Lady Kira's involvement in this crime, after all. Yeah, the warning letter alone can't prove who killed the High Priest. I'll give you one last chance to withdraw from before you are charged under the DC Act. She's so like, she thinks she's like jabbing at us here, right? This smile, like, you know what I mean? She really is like, again, she's a kid. You know, she's like, haha, gotcha, you know? Your benevolence. While it is true you did not forge or suppress any evidence, that is perhaps a product of my careful monitoring of your every move. So she genuinely thought that we were going to forge evidence. That she believes this 100%. That we forge evidence. I wasn't planning to do anything like that in the first place, your benevolence. But I am going to prove Maya's innocence within the confines of the law. How can you be so sure you will? And that's so interesting. Again, it's her. Look at how shocked she is. We're going to answer now what Phoenix thinks, but like what amazes me about this in terms of, again, just like how great they've written Rafa's character. Like, she is shocked because, again, through her whole life, she's been told that you are right. Kuranism is right. Everything that you do here, they have to listen to you, right? So even when she's jabbing at us and telling us to back down and telling us that we're going to lose and telling us we have nothing, right? When we answer back with so much sureness, she responds with like this stunned shock, which is like, how can you still be saying you will do this, you know? Because in her mind, she can't even comprehend that someone would not only like disagree with her, but go against her threats and warnings. You know, again, because she has grown up probably seeing her father threaten people and they buckle. Seeing her mother impose things and they buckle. Phoenix isn't buckling. You know, again, he's not buckling. Because of my undying faith in my clients. Exactly! That is a lawyer's greatest weapon. Again, that's the thing. We talked about this. That's since the beginning of Ace Attorney. He's taught this to Apollo as well. He's taught this to Athena. Everyone. This is something that has been since the beginning of Ace Attorney. My faith in my clients. Because if you have that, you can push forward through anything. What nonsense. You have chosen to dig your own grave. When next we meet, it shall be in the Hall of Justice. As royal priestess, it is my duty to reveal the truth through the divination seance. Oh yeah, this time I'll prove that the insights I gleaned thereof are the very truth itself. What you saw was the truth, is just interpreted wrong. Like legitimately, it's actually an incredible power, Rafa, but you just interpreted wrong. That's all. That's all that happened. Prepare yourself, for this shall be your last trial and your last rites. Man, just being like you're going to freaking die, you know? Tomorrow shall end with you under the headsman axe. Again, that's it. She's literally talking about her execution and Maya's execution. I want so badly to save her from these thought processes, right, that have been ingrained in her and ingrained in everyone in Crane. Tomorrow I'll be defending Maya in that so-called Hall of Justice again. And I love he says so-called Hall of Justice because it definitely doesn't uphold justice. It does not. Well, it did last time, thankfully, but like for years it did not. That whole seance thing makes trials here completely different from those back home, yeah? Plus, I don't have a shred of conclusive evidence. On the other hand, I've got plenty of confusion and anxiety to spare. You can say that again, 100%. I'll have to think of something. After all, I'm the only lawyer of all in all of Crane. When you put it that way, we knew this is true, but saying it like that so openly is like, yeah, he is. I have to do this. I will do this. I'll prove Maya's innocence if it's the last thing I do. To begin, here we go. We're going into the trial. We're going into it. Yeah, like he's so correct in what he says. You know? He is the only lawyer here. He will protect Maya. And I think it's just like such a like the dynamic between Phoenix and Rafa has been so good. It's such a good story. It's such a good way of showcasing like someone who's so dedicated to Kernism but doesn't even know why she's dedicated to it. Doesn't even know the full extent of it. She hasn't been taught why she believes like the full extent of all this. She just knows she has to believe it and she knows that she's important. So when she learns that Phoenix wants to literally like put his life on the line for this, her whole world is shook to its core. What do you mean you would die for this? What do you mean you would put your life on the line for someone else? To go against Kernism, you literally die to go against Kernism. It's shocking to her. It's something that she can't even comprehend. And again, it's that idea of like someone who has so much faith in her clients versus someone who has like a misconstrued faith in Kernism that she doesn't even know fully the full extent of what this is. And you see their bickering, you see their arguments, and it really is Phoenix facing up against like, you know, the unabashed faith that people have in Karain. To just believe everything in that way. It's such an interesting dynamic. Here we go. It's always a nerve-wracking feeling starting these trials. May 11, 9:40 a.m. High Court of Karain. Accused lobby. I wasn't able to find any conclusive evidence yesterday, but if I can figure out Lady Kira's motive for threatening the High Priest, then maybe. Nick, today well, don't look so down, Maya. I'm going to defend you with everything I've got. Exactly. But then, of course, it's very difficult because we're both up against our death here. Like, we're up against an execution here. You would do well to cease this insanity while you still can, Rafa. As I said yesterday, I'm going to defend my client in court. Well, know this. You shall not witness a miracle of the sort that occurred last time. The moment she is found guilty, you too will be found guilty of abetting the accused. I never claimed to be a miracle maker, but I am good at discovering the truth. That's the thing. I was going to say it back. I was like, maybe I don't need to. But Phoenix was like, I got it. He like put his hand on my chest and said, Calvin, right? The yapping ceases for a minute. I got this. Because I was thinking, like, it wasn't a miracle. We just found the truth. We just presented evidence. We were a good lawyer. Not that I was a good lawyer. Phoenix was. And unlike miracles, the truth is always waiting to be found. Exactly. The truth, you say? Then it seems you have chosen your fate. This shall be your very last trial. It's so crazy how, again, the culture of this place has gotten to a point where, you know, a 14-year-old kid can talk so flippantly about, like, just executing someone. You know what I mean? And it's, here's the thing, like, there's so many places that are like that through history. Some places even that are considered, like, that consider themselves to be different. You know, like, I'm not like that country, whatever. It's like, yeah, but you also, like, there's also places that will talk flippantly about executions as well. There is, like, all around the world. It's crazy. And it is like a cultural thing. It is like something that's brought up with you as well. Nick, I'm going to prove you innocent, Maya. You'll see after all. You have to introduce the Plume Punisher Warrior Neo title to the folks back home. Oh my god. You're gonna make that show. And then this determined look. We love it. No, honestly, that's a great way to put it. Like, I think Phoenix did a good job here. Because, again, Maya knows that Phoenix adores her. Maya knows that Phoenix will support her. But I think it's also good to phrase it in a different way. Like, you will get out of here. You have to do this. Remember that thing you said yesterday? We're going to make sure you do that. And it's a roundabout way of saying you're going to get out of here. I maybe defend it this time. Oh, look at that smile. But I'll be by your side like always, Nick. Hell yeah. Thanks, Maya. Wait, you're gonna work with us as well? The place is tough on lawyers. I'll need all the help I can get, 100%. Plus, it's always good to have you on my team. 110% is like old times. Well, it's time. Let's go. I wonder how the gallery probably still hates us. Because the culture doesn't just change over one trial. Especially if they're calling it a miracle, you know what I mean? They would still see it as a miracle. May 11th, High Court of Karain. You know what I mean? It's like one trial isn't going to change people's takes, because now, especially if Rafe is calling it a miracle. Oh, there he is. Look at him. Somebody. They're going to go with what Rafe says and go with what the Queen says. Let the trial of Maya Fey begin. The defense is ready, Your Majesty. Again, someone told me like they changed his face a little bit in this game, and I always thought he was like handsome, but I think like they made him look like even more handsome here. Huh? He's not speaking yet. Phoenix hasn't faced him yet. It was Apollo who faced him. Quiet! Can't you see Prosecutor somebody is absorbed in silent prayer? Okay. It started already. Again, I don't mind it, like, mechanically being an uphill battle, because again, it's always fun. It's like Samedi has made the last trial we just had like one of the most fun we've ever had. It's just obviously one of those things where we have to call out that like it is going to be very difficult for Phoenix and very uncomfortable. Great, the trial already started and the judge is already mad at me. Exactly, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's already uncomfortable. He's very devout for a prosecutor, 100%. It's so interesting getting to see Maya like in 3D, like in this sense too, because we're so used to her like talking to us like from the side too. And I'm glad we're getting this, by the way, because I didn't know since she was defended if we were going to let her be on the bench with us. But I guess like maybe, they're not against it. It's good to have her. Why is EQ standing over there? Oh, they're gonna question it now. No, please, don't take her away. don't take Maya away. It's just like old times. Oh, well, Your Majesty, in addition to being the accused, she is also my assistant. The accused is your assistant, you say? Very well, then. A criminal does indeed make a fitting partner to a lawyer with a defiled soul. Again, he was doing very good last trial, but again, as I'm talking about, the culture isn't going to change in one trial. It's not going to change in one trial. That wasn't very nice. Oh my god, this expression from Maya. Yeah, well, bad-mouthing lawyers seems to be a custom of sorts here in Karain, yeah. I love that, like, they actually use the bad taste that they have in their mouth about lawyers as a way to, like, to explain why it's okay for Maya to be there. They had Maya basically be like... They had the judge basically like, you deserve to be together because she's a criminal and you're not, or whatever, you know what I mean? Or you're a criminal and she's a criminal and you're a bad lawyer, I must say, I'm surprised to see you still here in Karain, Mr. Wright. And even more to find you in the Hall of Justice once more. I cannot fathom why you would want to willingly risk your life for yet another trial. The answer is simple, Your Majesty. I'm a lawyer, and this is what lawyers do. Hell yeah, Phoenix. Although, to be frank, I'd rather be anywhere but here right now. Honestly, kind of. Like for us and Maya. I'm gonna get Albie out there, too. Such foolishness. Prosecutor Samadi, are you ready to begin now? Yes, Your Majesty. The prosecution is ready. Let us begin without further delay. Such a presence about him, right? But first I promise you about this. I will cast your wicked souls into the fires of hell. How did the case go with Apollo when you were going to do all this? How'd that go? Thus shall the soul of the victim attain salvation. Ha 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 ha! Splendid, I would expect nothing less of you, Prosecutor Samadi. And look at this, that's what I'm saying, this is the uphill battle. The judge is literally like, that's amazing. That's so fantastic that you said this. You know? It's already a struggle. Please save the victim's souls. Again, they're talking about like, as we're already like, you know, our soul is lost. Punish the wicked lawyer. I think I'll pass on the whole fire and brimstone deal. Yes, please. Let's please avoid that as much as possible. But I'm not surprised by your words or stance considering what Apollo's told me about you. Apollo's relayed some stuff. Good. Very good. What are you shaking your head for? So it was you who instilled that putrid loyalty guile within him. You mean the winning guile? You mean the one that won? You mean the one that beat you? Putrid? What? Yeah, we're gonna have to deal with this Phoenix through the whole trial. He too must soon face the fires lest his soul be lost to redemption. But I shall send you on ahead so that he will not be lonely when he arrives. He said, I will give you a friend in hell. You know? Sorry, but I'm afraid it won't be that easy. People say I never know when to give up. Look at that smile. Nervous, Maya? A little. A little. She's so amazing. Feels like it's been ages since we stood side by side like this in court. Too bad I'm the defendant. Don't worry. We haven't lost the case together yet. You're right. Let's give this everything we've got, Nick. The motivation we need, right? Nick and Maya together again. Phoenix and Maya taking on a court system, taking on a court case. Uphill battles is what we know. It's what we're used to. I'm so ready for this. Now then, Prosecutor Samadi, would you please explain the case at hand? Of course, Your Majesty. Let us begin the last rites of the victim. Maya Fey has been charged with the crime of murder. This music's so dark as well, isn't it? The victim of a heinous crime was a high priest, Tarustin Me. He was conducting the purification rite when he was brutally slain. And the cause of death? Let's review the victim's autopsy report and the crime scene photo, shall we? The cause of death was a blood loss from a stab wound delivered to the abdomen. The murder weapon is likely a warbad dagger, which was used in the last rite. However, the weapon is yet to be found, though the scene was thoroughly searched. A sacred relic used as a tool of murder? Holy Mother's wrath shall be most severe. Can I say this right now? Already they're just guessing that this is the weapon, right? And the judge is going to go along with whatever somebody says. And that is our battle. The murder itself took place at the height of the purification rite. The accused had donned Lady Kira's sacred robes, and the victim was there to offer prayers as a high priest of Kurnism. Oh, we're getting like a layout here. During the rite, the victim accused and accused were the only two at the inner sanctum. Therefore, the only person who could have slain the victim was Maya Fey. That's what we have to prove wrong here, right? I must say that does cast a great deal of suspicion upon the accused. Yep, that's why she got arrested. But, and again, I understand why she got arrested because she was the only one there. But at the same time, too, like, personally, I know she didn't do it. You know? I'm not saying that she should have been arrested. I'm saying that, like, I understand why, especially in this country, with their devout, you know, religious, you know, dedication, they see a murdered monk and there's only one other person there. They're going to be like, oh my God, it was her, of course, you know? Now then, allow me to submit this diagram of the crime scene as evidence in this case. A diagram of the scene of the high priest's murder. It shows where the lanterns and the warbad statue are. In Kurnism, slaying a priest is a sin most grave and dreadful. As such, Maya's soul shall be plunged into the lowest level of hell. The hell of tickling? What's the hell of tickling? There should be tickle without end for 500 million years. That is a terrible fate indeed. Would the feds care to respond? Tickled? First of all, no one's tickling Maya. No one's going near Maya. I don't care if it's the devil, God, or Satan himself. That's the devil as well. But I'm telling the devil twice. Back off. You know? And I'm serious. No one's going near Maya. Doesn't matter if it's hell, heaven, wherever. And here I thought the lowest of hell would be the hell of back pain. I don't remember killing anyone, and I don't have that dagger or anything like it. Exactly, Maya tell him. As my client stated, she has no memory of the event as described by the prosecution. But more importantly, she had no motive to kill the high priest in the first place. Oh, God. I thought you might say that. See, the problem is he always has, like, even if the evidence is wrong, and if he is wrong, we said it last time, he always has, like, good pushback. So I'm always worried whenever he says objection. He always has, like he does a pushback, and you're like, oh, that's actually pretty good. That was a good pushback. Nevertheless, the meaningless prattle of lawyers is utterly ineffectual here in the Hall of Justice. For all we made clear by her benevolence, Rafa, Padma. Oh, he's talking about the seance thing that happens. Yeah. So it is and so it shall be. The divination seance reveals the truth for all to see. Here we go again. Bailiff, please show in the royal priestess. So I wonder what this is going to show. Again, mechanically, this is a fun mechanic that they do here. But, like, it's going to cause some problems for sure. It will cause some problems. It's Princess Rafa. Oh, how beautiful her benevolence looks again today. Hey! Glory to the Holy Mother for this blessed day. First of all, don't be putting so much pressure on this kid. Second of all, it's a kid. Shut your mouth. Everyone in the gallery. Yeah, I'm defending Rafa now as well. She has a bad upbringing. Okay? And as much as I want to save Maya as well, in the end of this game, I hope we can somehow save Rafa as well. Honestly. Personally. Rest assured, good people of Karain, I will defeat this murderer and her abettor. They shall not escape on the freedom express today. Oh wait, she used the term freedom express? What a joy it is to have the royal priestess back in the Hall of Justice after you kicked her out last time. We won't talk about that though, right? May the Holy Mother grant us divine favor. Udara Karain? Urdihara Karain. She sure looks pleased with herself. Especially for someone who didn't know what a freedom express was until yesterday. But that's what they're showing, how impressionable she is. She's using terms that she just learned and using them back out again here today. Which again, it's not a bad thing, but like it's like, she's a kid. You know what I mean? It's like, this is crazy. Is there something stuck in my face? To my face barbed head? Again, that smirk as well. And here's the thing, like, she's a kid. But like, I'm not trying to say that, like, you know, like why this is like crazy, like to give her this much power, you know, and to give again the way they brought her up and stuff as well. I don't want to make it seem like our court system in the regular court system in Phoenix Wright is any good. Sometimes they put like 10-year-olds on trial for like murder and like put them like under emotional stress and trauma for the rest of their lives. You know what I mean? Like, what we have to learn about this game is that we're dealing with like a lack of care sometimes for defendants all around. And it's also the same thing, like, the first time the judge really had, like, I really admired the judge was last time when he had such, like, an admiration and, like, soft spot for Trucy that actually warmed my heart, you know? But kids don't get treated well in these court systems here. No, not in your benevolence. They really don't. Now then, your benevolence, please, the divination seance, if you please. Very well. Nina, my robe. Nina, my robe. Oh, to take off the robe? This is actually, if I remember correctly, this is actually still a very, if she's going to do the dance, it's actually like a very, really cool thing. Choreo-wise, like it's a really beautiful dance.
Oh, Holy Mother, we hold this divination seance in your name.
I forgot they have voice acting sometimes in this game.
Let the eyes of everyone here be clear and our ears be unstopped. Oh, dance of devotion, guide the victim's soul to me, so that we may receive their final memories in the pool of souls.
Here we go. Again, it's the whole speech does like to me it lulls me into silence sometimes. We heard it last time as well, but like I think we heard it last time, right? But it's very the words are very impactful and forceful and like they have a presence about them as well. But this is always like really well animated. The music is always very pretty as well. Yeah, look at this. And like, it's the fact as well that like we can hear the music. Like, the way it's animated, the choreo is so good. Like the way the dance is like done is like, it feels so like as you said, spiritual. It feels so like, you know, there's like a mesmerizing quality to the choreo. And like, I think like the fact that like no one in the audience is speaking, the fact that on either side no one is speaking, you could hear a pin drop beyond the music. The gallery is silent, you know what I mean? So they understand the significance of what this is for them as well. And the fact that the game is doing this full thing again, they're showcasing as well that like they want you to see this. This is a big part of their culture and a big part of this court system. And can you imagine the tension that Maya and Phoenix are feeling right now? Oh, like, and you can't even like go like, oh, this is like a really beautiful cultural dance because like it's good, the thing that's going to help you like, or maybe drive you towards your death, you know? It has so many elements wrapped up into one piece. It's quite terrifying. So there's Maya. I'm guessing that's trust in me. Is there anyone else here? Can we see anyone else here? Okay, so he's reading this. Wind. Wait, why would footsteps? What? Incense and pain? What? The vixen Matama has spoken? The divination seance is complete. Great, another clearly incriminating seance fish. I don't think so. I mean, to everyone in this courtroom, yes, but like, Maya put on the costume just to stab. Why couldn't she just stab him in general? Was she worried about if no one else was there? Why couldn't she just stab him? It could not be any clearer, O foul defense. The accused donned the sacred robe of the Lady Kira and then attacked the victim. Why? Why would she do that? Why put on the costume? She's just gonna do that. Oh, terrible it must have been. The figure of Lady Kira lit against the dim lantern light, the scent of incense growing ever more potent as she drew near. One can almost sense the horror Abbott and me must have felt. 100%. I just don't know why. Like again, I didn't even think of it until now. But like, why? Like I thought she would like it would like wouldn't it make more sense to just do it and then leave the costume there to make it seem like someone wore the costume? Like why? I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me. And she could have been more like, I don't know. It's just the facts are presented by benevolence are indisputable. I think you guys know this word. But that wasn't me. I believe you. Do something, Nick. I was like, do something. Like again, that's very Maya as well. Like other characters might be like, help, Nick. But she's like, do something. You know, because she knows he can. I'm working on it. That couldn't have been any clearer. Looks like I'm in for another uphill battle, 100%. The accused committed this vile act during our ancient tradition, the purification rite. Come to think of it, the Rites Guides explains the multi-part purification rite in detail. The transformation rite. The high priest reads the scripture while a priestess dons the robes of Lady Kira. The rite of water. Lady Kira enters the spring and the high priest purifies her along with her dagger. The rite of fire. The priestess circles the sacred flames to purify her soul. Indeed. It would seem that the murder occurred during the transformation rite. The rite dictates that the high priest stand in front of the spring. Therefore, the accused must have been attacked him from the direction of the broken lantern. Well, barbed head. Oh, she's so happy about this. Would you care to object? Of course, because I know my client is innocent. Hell yes, Phoenix. As long as we keep that, like, I think it's the motivating factor. Keep that in our hearts, always. So you say, you truly do not know when you are beaten, do you? I managed to pull it off last time with Albie. I'll just have to do it again. The shake of the head. You intend to find fault with our benevolence's insights yet again? Yes, we did last time. We seem lawyers are Polukunan creatures indeed. Judge, you were here when we did it last time and succeeded. You were here last time. Look at the Polukunan. Again, it's a show for them as well. They love like putting us to the flames. They love it. Someone who's a real piece of work, so to speak. Oh, okay, so it's a piece of work. They can call me anything they want. The only thing I care about is uncovering the truth. Exactly. I love Phoenix's determination here. I love the way he's pressing forward. So, Barbed, are you foolish enough to risk your life for your so-called truth? We're risking our life for Maya. You know? It's not. I know you guys coming from maybe like a spiritual aspect, but I'm coming at this from like, we're protecting Maya. Because my insights are the truth. To deny them is to willingly dig your own grave. What you see in your vision is 100% accurately true in terms of like the vision is true. But it's the way to decipher it is what is wrong. That's what we're trying to figure out here. The way to decipher it is wrong. Oh, we're just going for it? Oh, wow. Very, 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 very scared. The victim commenced the purification rite by bowing to the lanterns and reading a sutra. Wait, oh, is this is maybe this isn't the thing. I thought this was just like kind of like deciphering the vision. As the first part, the transformation rite ended, he lowered the sutra suddenly. Okay. He heard the accused approaching footsteps and smelled her incense-laden robes. Is that just assertions? It was then that the victim felt an intense pain. I believe this is when he was stabbed. So he heard the victim and he smelt the incense. He lowered the sutra and got stabbed. As his lifeblood spilled over, his vision dimmed till finally he passed out from our world. So that's the inside part of it, okay. That is everything the victim experienced in his final moments. Inner Sanctum diagram shows where Maya and the High Priest were during the rite. Dressed in the sacred robe of Lady Kira, as the accused rushed the victim head-on. The brutal stabbing she perpetrated could not have been any clearer. Yes, it is plain for all to see. No, it wasn't me. A sudden drowsiness came over me during the transformation rite. Wait, what? I didn't even get a chance to put on the Lady Kira's robe, so did you pass out? They might have said that before, but it's like, obviously I record this over a couple of weeks. You waste our time with such meaningless statements, accused. What, that she could have been passed out? You cannot explain the way the truths revealed by the Royal Priestess' divine insight. Oh, how did you end up finding contradictions last time? Through like sounds, through like flames going out, to lighting. The deceased's final moments memories include all 5 senses. Yeah, through senses. Me being like sound, lights, flames, senses. You mean those words that appeared in the pool of souls? It looked to me like the bigger the word, the more stronger the sensation was to the victim. Okay. Yeah, that's how it looked to me too. So they're trying to have us focus on that as well, which is like the bigger words at the time, which was stronger to the victim. The sensation themselves are never wrong. Only their interpretations. That's what I was saying as well. Yeah, it's not that Rafe is 100% right in her vision, but it's the interpretation that's wrong. That's why I tried to point out mistakes in Rafe's insight last time. So there could be contradictions between what Abbott and me felt and her insights, huh? You got it. And I'm going to find them this time too. Should I check how to point out the contradictions in Rafe's insight? I think I'm okay. I think I'm fine right now. I definitely think we remember it now. Now I remember how it works. Hopefully. Still, the sensations this time seem to fluctuate more than the others ones from Alvy's trial. In which case, I better keep an eye on the changes in their intensity too. Okay. Okay, time to point out. So they're trying to like... Okay, maybe we should have done the tutorial because it seems like they're trying to definitely point us towards the idea of like intensity, right? Maybe we should have. Okay, that's my bad. Let's check it out here. I just thought I'd be able to like, it's like muscle memory almost. So the victim commenced the purification rite by bowing to the lanterns and reading the sutra. And then we had, at the first part of the transformation rite ended, he lowered the sutra suddenly. So that's the sutra he was reading. He heard the accused approaching footsteps and smelled her. So they really like emphasize this. The So we have wind with the broken thing. We have the footsteps, and we have the incense. They're trying to they said focus on the intensity of it, right? So if we go to the incense and the footsteps and see the intensity of that as well. So here. Is that what they're trying to showcase to us? Because look at this. Look what's happening here. They said to focus on the intensity, and it's I don't know. The incense is getting bigger, right? But footsteps is staying the same. Right? Am I... Like, there's no way that... And then pain comes up on the screen, and the footsteps almost become, like, non-existent as well. Do you think they're trying to show that the incense smell wasn't joining up with the footsteps? Because again, they wouldn't just like point out like that we have to focus on the intensity. Like they kept saying it, if it wasn't for that. So should we go back a little bit and let them actually focus on the actual? I guess we'd probably hit either the footsteps or the incense, right? So if we play this, and if we select this, then because they're very different. Yeah. See, I think the game does give you a lot of insight in that stuff too. They go like before anything, like not every time, but at least in the earlier tries, they do a lot of like, I better focus on the cat. What about the cat? Maybe it's something to do with the cat. And then like the next thing comes up, it's like the victim or the defendant or the witness goes like, and I never seen a cat. Hold on a second. They said they never seen a cat, you know? And like why like they don't do it all the time? I'll make it clear they don't just give you answers all the time. But I do feel like if there's something that like you're still learning in this sense, they will kind of like help you along a little bit, which I don't think is a bad thing. Because then when it comes to trial 5 and trial 4, in my experience, like all of that kind of like, and even trial 3 sometimes as well. Like I know we're in trial 3 now, but like sometimes 4 or 5 or whatever, try 4 or 5, and it really feels like sometimes they're like, yeah, you're on your own, buddy. they pull back that like life buoy and go, swim to safety, you know? Yeah. So I didn't mean to make it sound like they just give away answers. I think sometimes they do give me's. We've pointed this out, where it's not exactly giving you the answer, but they tell you like what you should maybe try to focus on. Because we still have to figure out what like, you know, the difference was. But they were very kind enough to be like, okay, look, it's your second time doing this, kind of focus on the intensity. You know what I mean? Very cool. But did he really? Oh, I didn't read that line. Sorry about that, guys. I can read it again. The victim supposedly heard the accused approaching footsteps, but did he really? What nonsense is this? It's not abundantly clear. But see, the difference between the incense and... He said he smelled the incense coming towards him, but the footsteps were in the distance. No, it's not. Because there is something strange about those footsteps. Hell yeah, Phoenix. Strange? Explain yourself, Barbed Head. The footsteps are strange because they don't get louder. Yeah, they don't get louder. They're not getting any louder because they would be getting bigger. The words would be getting bigger as it's coming closer to them, but they're staying in the one spot while the incense is getting more intense, right? And what exactly does that matter? Please focus your attention on the incense and the victim smelled. The scent grows stronger as the accused approaches, but the noise doesn't get louder. If the accused really had approached the victim, the sound of their footsteps would have grown louder as the scent and the incense grew stronger. Oh my god. She's already feeling it. Why, that makes perfect sense. How can this be explained, your benevolence? Well, there must be a reason. To have her vision already questioned right away. Oh, here he goes. You know what I mean? It's a big deal. Is as if they say. It is as they say. Even a putrid worm of a lawyer will turn. What does that even mean? He's not exactly singing your praises, that's for sure. I love that Maya's kind of being our translator to these expressions as well. Still, we cannot discount this information solely on the account of its lawyerly source. Your benevolence. Perhaps you must listen more carefully to the abbot's matama. Listen more carefully? What's he talking about? Yes, it would appear so. I shall try to refine the sensation. Refine the sensation? I can more accurately gauge sensations by deepening my communications with the Mitama. I didn't know you could do that. Why have we never done this? Exactly, I was going to say this. Like, why not just, like, have it be at its most intense? Does it hurt her or something? By refining a sensation, a clearer picture of the truth can be discovered. Why haven't we done that since the start? Because, you know why? We know why. We know why. Because they see that vision even in its lowest form, as like gospel. You know what I mean? And it actually showcases the cultural significance of this and the cultural dependence they have on this, where they go, we don't want anything going against this. So even in its lowest form and its weakest form, you still have to believe it, and it's the truth, right? So this is like actually like a rare thing for them probably to do, because it's like, well, why would we ever have to do this? We showed you what we saw show before, but they probably rarely have inconsistencies pointed out because you don't have defense lawyers. Hear me now and respond to my call. Let's go. So how is this going to be refined? Bells? Footsteps change into bells. What could this mean? Wait, didn't Maya say something about bells? But I think she's talking about like bells that made her... How do I say it? That she was talking about the bells that made her, go back to work though, right? Yeah, so I don't know if that will help us in that sense. I'm not sure. I know she mentioned bells as a way to like get out of work or to like go back to work if she hears the abbot coming. But the only bells at the scene of the crime were the abbot's legs. That Jillian must have come from the abbot Imi's bells. Then, wait, but there was bells over there? You mean those big things he had on his ankles? How does that make sense? Well, there you have it. The sound of bells was from the high priest's own footsteps. Wait, but in the distance? Then that means... And the footsteps belong to the victim himself. It means it was the victim who was moving, not the accused. Wait, what? How? Let them go. Let them keep going. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. So he moved towards them. The victim was the one who was running towards the broken lantern from the spring. A far cry from what Benevolent's insight would have us believe. So he walked closer to them. But how was the bell sound in the distance then? Inner Sanctum diagram updating the court record. Is it that they were so far down in his legs that they... Oh, you know what it is? They never changed intensity because they were always on him. Is that what we're getting at? So no matter what, they say the same sound. That's what we're getting at. Okay, I think that's what they're getting at. Okay, my bad, guys. Sometimes it's a bit confusing. So this means he ran towards the person dressed as Lady Kira then. So I wondered, here's my theory already. We're going to do theories already. He got threatened by Lady Kira. He got threatened by Lady Kira. Do you think he rushed the Lady Kira because he's like, okay, they threatened me with like, with that letter. I got to just like try to defend myself now. But why would the victim have approached the accused? I think it's probably because of the threat they have. I wonder if it is a situation where like they were on edge already, thinking that they were going to be threatened at any moment. They saw the person dressed up as Lady Kira and they ran towards it because they knew there was going to be danger coming. I wonder. Maybe he's trying to defend himself. Please explain. He could have felt threatened by Lady Kira standing there with a dagger. If so, he might have thought it to overpower her before she attacked. Oh my god, she's really going through it now. Still your voices, this is nothing but a theory, and a poor one at that. Again, it's okay to be embarrassed, right? It's okay, it's more than okay, but she gets embarrassed by this because she's not used to losing, you know what I mean? It's like, if you haven't lost your entire life, you have to learn how to lose when you're a kid. You know what I mean? You have to learn how to lose. It's something that happens, you know? So she's so frustrated to the point that it's like this, her face is flustered, she's angry, she's upset, she looks like she's about to cry and like scream at the same time too. Be not led astray by this lawyer's obvious postulation. Objection. Oh. Here we go again. While his insolence is inexcusable, I would ask that you calm yourself, your benevolence. Is there something you would care to say, Prosecutor Samadi? Even if it was Abadimi who moved, it does not negate the accused's crime, I agree. Again, he's making sense. Like, I'm not saying Maya did it, but I'm saying that the actual facts is, like, he could have moved towards the killer and the killer still stabbed him. You know what I mean? And again, once again, somebody is going to come out with something that just makes sense with the evidence we have, even if the evidence might not be true, you know? What do you mean? The accused was likely waiting for the high priest to approach. Ah! And as he neared, she plunged the dagger into him. When we know it wasn't Maya, it's as simple as that. Yeah, I mean, like, again, we say it all the time. He's wrong that it's Maya. He's wrong that Maya did this, but this evidence that he's pushing back on makes sense. Oh, right. It really doesn't change much, does it? Yes, as the prosecutor has said. In fact, it is as I meant to say all along as well. It's okay to be wrong. Man, someone needs to save this gal. Like, legitimately so. Like, to live a life like this, she's only going to become like, if she stays on this path with her parents and all this stuff too, and the way she's being treated now, the way she acts now, through no fault of her own, she's going to grow up to be like a tyrant. Like, legitimately, like, so. It's going to be horrible. Right, and that's why you were so shocked when you first heard it. She's 14. She's a kid. Understand now, lawyer, that contradiction you conjured up has come to naught. Once I hone my insights, it will vanish like the dying rays of the sun. Insight revise? The victim... Oh, so what's changed? He rushed the accused and tried to fight her off by the broken lantern. The one thing I will poke a hole in as well, not like in terms of the story, but in terms of like... Because it actually makes the story better, in my opinion. Is the idea that like these seances are true technically, but they're only true when you fully refine them, because the fact that they mistook footsteps for bells in the first round through means that there's many trials that they went through up till now with the seances that, like, let's just take a scenario where like someone robbed something or like someone killed another guy and pushed him off a cliff, and instead of like, you know, hearing a bicycle riding up and knocking him off the cliff, that what they actually heard was like, you know, a wheelbarrow he was carrying behind him as he was trying to save his life or something. You know what I mean? Like, it's clearly that's not fully accurate until you fully refine it. So how many trials before this did they just like put someone away or put someone to death for a flimsy reason? You know what I mean? And his life spilled over, his vision dimmed, and finally he passed from our world. You get what I'm saying? And the reason why it makes the story better, it just showcases once again that there is a lot of corruption here. There is. And there's a lot of like such devotion that they believe anything. The fact is that Abedinmi, who moved, changes nothing. Come on, Phoenix, you gotta keep your cool. Yeah, 100%. Because again, somebody's good. He's good at this. That contradiction I pointed out must mean something. That one sensation changed after Princess Raifa refined her vision. It stands to reason that something else might have changed too because of that refinement. Oh, we're gonna check that out too? I should focus on any sensation that has sensations that have changed, while searching for the more contradictions between them and her insights. This is just a really fun mechanic as well, by the way. It just really is. So let's check here. So the new... Sorry, he said insights as well. So the new statement we got... Sorry, new statement... Can we present on statements as well? So this is the new statement. Water wasn't always there though, right? What is that? Water was not there. So did he pause it? And then select water? Objection! That was not always there. I feel like we would have said water, right? We would have said the word water. Hold it. How do we know the purification rite was performed exactly as it was supposed to be? That's easy. The customs governing the rite are very clear, and Abedinmi would have adhered to them. Well, that's strange. Mr. Wright, would you care to explain just now what is so strange? Yes, I would ask you to consider the sound of the victim's footsteps. Wait, do we think as he moved forward, he went into water? The sound of bells changed to the sound of water points, so he stepped into water. What's this? It's your own seance. It's simple. The victim must have stepped in some water. Oh? Yes. And the only source of the water in the inner sanctum is the spring. And therein lies the contradiction. What contradiction? I believe that the rite started out as it should have. The victim stood with his back to the spring, and the accused stood right in front of him. But we now know that the victim then moved into the spring. Poluka, that is absurd! This means the accused location differs from what her benevolent insight indicates. I mean, it's true! Yeah, like, that makes perfect sense. If he, like, stepped back or if he stepped forward into water, if they're both already in the water, it just means that this wasn't done in the accurate way. I wonder, could we use that to point out that maybe if we're thinking that we're trying to showcase that he's like, he wasn't totally dedicated to Curranism. Maybe he was like a rebel of some kind. Remember, that's the question we kept asking throughout this whole investigation. I wonder if that's what we're going for. Is like, hey, like maybe he didn't actually care about this Curranism as we thought he did, you know? Where do you propose the accused stood once he donned Lady Kira's robes? Based on the sound of the victim's footsteps, I believe Maya was standing here. The spring? Because that's where the water is, right?
Take that!
Until this moment, we've all just assumed that Abbott and me and Miss Faye, were standing where they were supposed to be, as shown in the Wright's guide. In short, the victim should have been standing with his back to the spring and the accused in front. However, if that was how they really were standing, he couldn't have stepped into the spring as he approached her. The problem is the victim did step into the spring. This can only mean that Miss Faye actually had been standing in the water. Yeah. But if it's true, then their positions would have been completely reversed. So again, I think Sammy's going to be able to push back on this again. He might just say, well, that doesn't change the murder. But at least we're trying to like update a lot of stuff here. It's better to have the true positioning, even if it doesn't help us too much. It's good to have everything truthful, right? 100%. What is going on here, Miss Faye? Were you really standing in the spring? I'm sorry, but I barely remember anything about the rite. The High Priest would never make such an obvious blunder during a rite. What on earth? Is it even possible? I mean, it's true. That's enough? Be that as may, this is not to overturn my insights. It doesn't? Let us say the accused was standing in the spring. So what? So what? This completely reverses their positions is what? That their positions differ from what is customary is rather curious. However, what does that change? It certainly does not erase the accused's brutal crime. I guess you have a point there. Yep. It's, again, Rafa coming in with something that is truthful. Again, even if it doesn't help us completely now, having the truth at our disposal is going to help us in the long run, no matter what. Having truthful information will always help us no matter what in the end. You lawyers are an absurd breed. Never thinking ahead, you cling to the first insignificant contradiction you can muster. Ugh. Sounds like Princess Rafe has a pretty good grasp on what lawyers are all about. I mean, Maya, we do like go for whatever we can grab, but I feel like in the end, that helps us out the most, right? Oh, Maya, where would I be without your brutally frank commentary right now? Honestly, though, she's not wrong. It's part of what we do. We bluff. We sometimes grab onto anything we can. If there's like a loose thread, we like grab it by like our pinky finger, you know, and our thumb, just trying desperately to hold onto it because it's so small. But it usually leads to something bigger once we pull that thread, you know? Look at our man. Look at our man. Is this contradiction really meaningless? But something really doesn't feel right. Oh, I'll go with you, Phoenix. I'll go with you. Like, that's... Did I take a wrong turn somewhere? No, like, one of those things is if Phoenix starts thinking like this, I'm all for it. You know what I mean? I'm going along with them. I will now amend my insights to account for this new truth. Insight revise. He rushed the accused and tried to fight her off by the poolside lantern. And his life... Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. Now the contradiction is no more. But the truth of the matter still stands, no matter how stubbornly you deny it. What do you have to say for yourself now, Mr. Wright? I mean, what we should also point out is that, like, if you're not steeped in Curranism, the first instant you have now is like this seance stuff, while like shows a great deal of things, we have to have someone to decipher it. You know what I mean? It's someone outside of Curranism who isn't like brought up to hate lawyers. You'd be glad to have a defense lawyer in the world now, right? Because like without that, the insight just goes unchecked. The wrong insight would have been checked and Maya would have just been put to death over a wrong interpretation of that seance. Ugh. Nick, Your Majesty, this lawyer may have raised a trivial objection, but our benevolence insights have no further inadequacies of any kind. Oh, now did you say that we have to find inadequacy? We have to. Yes, so it would seem. Wait a second, but there's another contradiction. Still you flounder about, you wretched beast. Though you rack that putrid brain of yours, nothing worthwhile will come of it. Again, the insults flying at us once again. Maya, please tell me that you remember something that might help us out here. Sorry, I really don't remember a thing. It's okay, don't worry about it. We're here to help, we're here to help. Maya, you never have to lift a finger as far as I'm concerned. Even though she's helped us so many times. But now that the place I was standing in has changed, who knows? That alone may cause a new discrepancy with Princess Rafa's insights. That's right, we know that Maya was standing in the spring. A major change like that could have very well produced a contradiction. I should take a look at the inner sanctum diagram in the court record and confirm where Maya and Abademi were standing. Do we do that now ourselves? And then focus on finding any discrepancies between their positions and the insights. Oh, we have to do it ourselves. So where is the layout? So Maya is standing in the spring. Trust in me is heading towards the spring. What does this change that could help us out here? What does this change? Maybe I feel very silly right now, but... Huh. Should we look through everything again? Just here? Let's actually, no, let's let it run through. Let's let it run through fully. So this is when he put down the sutra. The wind happens there. And then he runs towards him like this to stop him. So the only thing we have sounds in now still is this one here. Like the other ones don't have any sound in them right now, at least until you refine them. So all we have here is... Well, no, this has sound in it, right? Yeah, this one has sound in it, yeah. This has the wind. And you have the light flickering and the wind going off here. But that was the broken lantern, wasn't it? Oh, no, it wasn't the broken lantern. It wasn't. No. Oh, I think we have something. Okay. The broken lantern's over here. Right? No, that makes sense. No, it doesn't make any sense because the lanterns that behind Maya and the positioning where Maya would be, quote unquote Maya, where they're saying it is Kira, would have been fixed. Yes. You know what I was thinking originally when I looked at this? I thought that like the lantern, these two lanterns above were like a little bit lower down. No, I remember now they're like up top, but that's a good, yeah, okay, there we go. Yeah, my thought process was these two lanterns at the bottom were lower down and these two lanterns up top were like closer to Maya. Like on this side, but yeah, they're opposite sides. So of course the lanterns are like on the opposite side. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. That's also a good thing in Ace Attorney when like I make a mistake where I'm like, oh yeah, like oh wait no, that's not the broken lantern's there. Wait no, that's I love that in Ace Attorney as well. Where like one mistake where you think you have something where you don't have something leads to something, you know. So it would have been. So do you have to click on the wind, or click on the actual? Wait, should we wait until the flicker happens? I guess. Here?
Objection!
Or the wind sound itself? No, okay, we have to click on the actual wind itself maybe. Because that is like something that like it shows an inconsistency, but I thought it would have been the lantern. That's where inconsistency lies. No, we didn't get it. We lost 1 point there. I believe it's the defense's thought process that the inconsistency lies. Yes, okay, that's fine. That's fine. Thank you, Mr. Judge. I guess there was a dead inconsistency there after all. I guess not. Let's this one here again. So we have to pause and actually, because again, I know you have to click on sounds, but I thought like the lantern was the most important part. But I guess the wind would be the most important part instead, Because that's what's moving the flicker of the lights?
Objection!
Yeah. Your benevolence, isn't this statement inconsistent with the vision? Inconsistent? I think not. Exactly. Wait, that wasn't it either? Interesting. Okay, so maybe not? We've lost 2 here. Is that not an inconsistency? Oh, wait, did I not click it in the right way? Did it not flicker? What's consult? You look like you're having a tough time, Nick. Yeah, because I can't find any contradictions. I mean, the sensations of the vision all seem perfectly fine to me. In that case, why don't you read the insights while focusing on what the victim saw? Ah, of course, his senses of sight. The time to go over... Yeah, okay, okay, that's fine. Did I just click it at the wrong time? So I guess if we're looking for... It would be this one here. It was then when the victim felt intense pain, I believe it was when he was stabbed. Or is it here? So he lowered this suddenly. He rushed the accused, tried to fight her off by the spring-side lantern. I'm so worried about this though. I am worried about this because like is it like... I don't know here. So, what we do know is that this is one that mentions the lantern, right? And they told us to check this out as well, directly. So I think it does have something to do with the lanterns as well. The spring-side lantern. Yeah, this is spring. So it is. So do you have to like... Is it a matter of like that we hit it in the wrong place, or is it a matter that we're just getting this wrong entirely? But it's the fact that it told us to look at this. The statement also like is about the spring-side lantern. That's an inconsistency for sure, but I'm not like, you know, it might be inconsistency for later as well, but... But what does that prove, though? He rushed the accused and tried to fight her off by the spring-side lantern. So let's see what, like, is there another section of this section we can, like, look at? Like, if we can pause at another point here, because I did it right here. But I'm worried about doing this now, because, like... Is it contradictory on the actual statement itself?
Objection!
No, like, it's not that, then. What is it, then? I thought it was, like, at the wrong time I hit it? Oh, no. We've lost, like, 3 lives trying to go for the same thing here. Do we have to try something different? Like, what is... Like, if that's what they're talking to do. It's what the spring-side lantern was a new statement. They told us to look at the thing as well. We're already down to 2 lives, by the way. We've only started this trial. This might be one of the times where I'm just so totally lost on what to do. And I have no problem like looking. You guys know I know I have no problem if I have no problem looking stuff up and being like, okay, just to see if I can get like an insight around this as well, because it's one of those situations where like you guys know I have no problem saying that I look something up. Because other than that, I'm not. Oh, okay. You look like you're having a tough time. So it is what they saw. But there's nothing else here. Like, there's nothing here. Like, what is here that's like, the only thing is the lantern is a contradiction. I feel like I'm going crazy. Oh, is it maybe... Oh, wait. When he rushes them, maybe there's something to do with the lantern? No. This might be one of those times, guys, I have no problem admitting. I will always admit if I ever have to do that, where I have to, like, maybe look up an answer or something, because I'm not sure at all here. I'm not sure in any way, shape, or form.
Objection!
Wait, did I not... So, before I looked anything up again, because I'm not gonna lie, I was definitely going to be like, okay, I'll look something up, and you guys know from other playthroughs, if I look something up, I'll tell you right away. I'll be like 100%, and you can see that in past playthroughs. Like, I'm not the type of person to be like, oh yeah, I just like figured it out, man. Oh my god, you know, like, it's much more, you know, it's better to be freaking honest about it. But like, what happened was I was like, this can't be like, and I kept like looking through it, I was like, it has to. This is the contradiction. This has to be. They're talking about the what he sees. They're talking about the actual the new statement mentions the lanterns. The lanterns themselves have like a thing that are like a part of the contradiction themselves as well. And it's like, it has to be that. So then in the earlier one, I paused in it, and as I hovered over, it said sight on it. So maybe I just clicked the wrong spot of the lantern, or maybe it was the wrong time. I don't know. I have no idea, but like, yeah, that's what it is. You did? No doubt it is but another of one of your vile attempts to slander my insights. Nope. Take a good look at what the victim saw. It just might change your mind. The lantern flame behind the accused was flickering. There was nothing unusual about that, especially as the wind had stirred. Yeah, but they weren't broken. No, that's where you're wrong. If the accused had been standing in the spring, then what you see here should be one of the lanterns flanking the statue. I fail to see your point. My point is, something is wrong here. The two lanterns flanking the statues were both outfitted with glass wind guards. Yeah, we saw that particularly as we were exploring, right? So neither lantern's flame should have been flickering in the wind in the first place. Huh? That's one of the rare times that she's calm after like hearing our explanation. She seems pretty tickled, Nick. I don't remember saying anything funny. I failed to see what you wish to prove here, but very well. I shall refine the vision and reveal the truth for all to see. Do it now. Do every refinement. Refine everything. Maybe she can only refine things when she's made a mistake, maybe. Possibly. Who knows? Oh, bless Matam, I beseech you. Fix your sight upon the lantern there. So what's... That lantern doesn't have a wind guard on it. Yeah? And rightly so. For the wind guard was removed to reveal the sacred flame within the... Oh, really? That's why she was so confident. And again, it's one of the few times she is confident. She's like, hey, that's part of it. Therefore, there is nothing odd about the flame flickering. Say what? Oh my god, she actually... But when we searched the crime scene, those lanterns had their wind guards on. That's because the police put them... What? I mean, I'm not surprised because, like, again, Kurnism is so based on religion, but, like... I mean, for a second, I was surprised. Me being like, I'm not surprised. Something shocks me to my core. I'm not surprised. But it's more an expression. But, like, I mean, like, now I'm not surprised when I think about it. It's like the police, like... are following curtanism. So they're like, we got to put this back on quickly, you know? When in reality, like, that's not how you do a crime scene. That's horrible for us that they could tamper with a crime scene like that. The sacred flames have been burned uninterrupted for hundreds of years, defense. We would not risk them being extinguished even during an investigation. I get that 100%, but like... Again, it's one of those things where, like, again, religion and tradition is infesting the trial to the point that we can't even freaking do anything about it. That would never fly back home. Yeah, I mean, like, and we let a lot of things fly back home. Well, Bob, Ted, are you done quibbling? Quibbling? If so, then it's time to bow down before this testimony of Mitama. And again, it was a good contradiction, but like then like it was, and I think it's actually like a really interesting thing that the one time that she was very confident, she was actually like quite right about something as well. You know, and when she knows she's right, she's like a lot more confident. Don't worry, Maya, I'm just getting started. All right, let's go over everything we know so far. This is nerve-wracking. This is so nerve-wracking. Maya was wearing Lady Kira's robes and standing in the spring. The high priest is thought to have been moving toward her, so I should look for sensations that stand in contradiction to this arrangement. Wait, so we have to... So the high priest was moving... she was standing in the spring. Maya was standing in Lady Kira's robes and standing in the spring. The high priest is thought to have been moving toward her. So I should look for sensations that stand in contradiction. So we have to look for contradictions in the fact that she was standing in the spring and the high priest was moving toward her. Okay. I won't give up. I'm going to find a contradiction that will undermine the accusation against Maya. Jesus, man, again. Is it getting clearer to you guys? I think it's way clearer now, right? For sure. But what about the curtains, maybe? Like, is the angle of the curtains what we're looking for here? So that, once again, incense and bells, water, pain. Holy hell, man, I have no idea. Once again, this is a tougher one. And here's me at the start being like, well, no, I stand by what I said, that they definitely do help you out with some stuff, but they don't help you out with everything. I said that earlier, but like, yeah. It's a very interesting one to note as well. Wait, but... Can we look at all that she said here as well? Is there a way to look at the court record? Is there a way to look at the, Oh, we can change the transparency. Is there a way to look at that? And see what they said again? Because the thing I'm looking at here is, or thinking about here is this. If you can see this now, because there's a reason he looks off to this side, right? But is that one open as well? Does the other one flicker as well? That's what I'm thinking about, like, because then we can't see it. I have no idea. I thought maybe we could click the other one in this as well, but it doesn't show that, to show maybe like, oh, one of them was not open or something like that. I'm actually like not doing well. This is one of those rare times I feel like I'm like not doing great at all. Like, nothing seems to have changed either, right? We're looking... I know what Phoenix said. That we have to look for contradictions that show that he moved towards... that moved towards Maya. Wait, no. my thought process is a little bit different now. Because look at this, right? The wind blows around here. What I'm thinking is, and maybe this is going to be a bit crazy, you see the way they intentionally look at the lantern here, and they intentionally look at the lantern here, right? Do you think they're trying to showcase here that, like, the wind is blowing all the time up here, right? It's constantly blowing. What if we're trying to look at where Maya's positions were, trying to contradict where Maya's position was? Is it possible that he got turned around and Maya was not standing in the pool, but Maya was still standing in the position that she should have been? Maybe? Because look at it, this is like clearly not, blowing. There's not even a flicker. If this was open, there would be a flickering, right? No, wait. Wait. No, that's not what it is. Wait, I need to see something. On the lanterns. No, that's not what it is at all. I thought he maybe got turned around. Look at this. Okay, 1 second. Look at this. Look at this. Okay, go. Look at this. I think it's what it is. One of the sides is broken. It's clearly broken. Right? But is it broken on this one as well? No, this is... Oh my god. Okay. I feel good again. Okay. Look at this. This is a different lantern. Maya was standing in a different place from Lady Kira. Oh my god. Yes. Okay. I love that. I love those moments, right? Like, I was feeling lost. I was feeling like, well, what is it, man? I kept looking over and over again. I was like straining myself even. And then I was like, I then, again, like I said, this always happens. I come up with something else where I was like, maybe he got turned around? Maybe he changed up to, what if I'm wrong here? Because, what could this possibly mean? But then and then you go, but the music stops, so I assume I've got it okay. But like, it happened before in this episode where you go like, oh, it's this then. And then as you're looking into something else, you go, wait, no, it's actually this. I love that, man. It's such a good feeling. The lantern clearly contradicts the insight. But this contradiction will overturn the entire case I've been building. We have to change around things then, right? The Maya was not in the pool then. All right, Mr. Wright. 1 minute you shout out and next you'll fall silent. Perhaps it is like the bellow of the one who is barreling down a hill with no way of stopping. Is that not right, Prosecutor Samadi? Maybe. Don't get cold feet now, Phoenix. Even if this overturns the entire case you've been built so far. Yeah, we have to have the truth. We have to have the truth no matter what. Even if it overturns what we're thinking, we have to have the truth. The only way is to keep moving forward. Because this is where we'll find the truth. Exactly. Sorry, but I'm not barreling down a hill. In fact, I'm in full control of everything with the indisputable contradiction I found. Is that so? The lantern behind the accused clearly, no, blatantly contradicts your insight. Does it now? One of the lanterns on the entrance side of the inner sanctum was broken. And if you watch the Abbot what Abbot in me saw in his final moments, the one where Maya was broken. You will notice that the lantern behind the praying form of Miss Maya is broken. But the one behind Lady Kira is fully intact. Oh my god, I thought it was to do with the wind. In short, we're seeing two different lanterns in the seance vision. Oh, there she is again. How could this be? She looks like she's going to explode. And even if it were, how would that contradict my insights? Maya and Lady Kira were standing in two different positions. Let me start by saying, the claim I am about to raise will overturn the case I built thus far. Will the defense please explain himself? Based on the broken lantern, we can tell Maya and Abbott and me's positions. Where the accused and the victim were standing, But did you not just finish asserting that the accused was standing somewhere else? What we found out now... Let me do this. What we found out now is Maya was standing in this, right where T might be, but just maybe a little bit before that. But in me was standing in front of the spring. That's what I'm thinking. And then the person who was dressed as Lady Kira was standing in the spring. Yeah. I did, and I built my argument on that faulty premise. But thankfully it has led us here. To the actual spot where Maya Fey was standing. I must say, the defense keeps changing its assertions in such a capricious manner. Judge, don't give me that. Its credibility may come into question. The seance has been changed 25,000 times so far. I'm willing to take that risk, Your Majesty, because I believe this will be the last time. But also, like, to me, it's a sign of a good lawyer to stand up in the middle of the trial and be like, we were wrong. This is actually what happened. You know, that's a good lawyer to me. That's a credible lawyer to me. That's actually a really good lawyer. I'd like to start pointing out the actual spot where the accused was standing. Very well. Show us where you now believe the accused was actually standing. I think around here. I think around here. Right? In front of the lanterns? Right? I wasn't thinking straight before, but now it's all falling into place. This is awesome. We know the victim had stepped into the spring. That means Maya Fey had to have been standing in the water as he approached. However, his memory, which has only now become clear, reveals that Miss Fey was standing by the side of the broken lantern. In other words, she was standing where she was supposed to be according to the custom. Does not bring us back to the very beginning? No, because Lady Keto was standing in a different position too. This is where things take a different turn, and I mean literally, the victim had to be moving towards the spring. That means that while he was moving, he had his back turned towards the accused. Yep. Do you mean to say the victim was turned around during the rite? But such an image appears nowhere in the seance vision. Actually, it does appear. When he was reading the sutra, he turned around. It's just that no one noticed until now. No one noticed? How could no one have noticed something so big? There was a moment when the scripture and the victim was holding was all we could see. Thanks to that, none of us could tell that he was in fact turning around that moment. He was spinning a bit. Once again, pushing back. If it was in the defense, if it is as the defense asserts, then her benevolence insights may no longer make sense. How do you intend to explain that?
Objection!
Oh my god, pushing right back right away. I don't need to explain anything because it's just as you said, Prosecutor Samadi. Her benevolence insights don't make any sense because they contain a huge error. I love that Phoenix pushed back at this. He's like, because somebody said something again. Hey, like, you tell me why does it make sense? And it's like, yeah, it doesn't. You have to explain why it doesn't make sense. Oh, Rafa, such insolence. But it's the truth. It's the truth, Rafa. A huge error, you say? Do explain. The huge error is the order of the rights, the number of people there. There was 3 people there at the time, right? Because that's what I would say. There's 3 people there. I believe this is what happened at the scene of the crime. The victim was reading the sutra when suddenly he sensed someone behind him. That's terrifying. He immediately looked back to see someone dressed as a Nikita standing there. Wishing to see who it was, he approached the robbed figure. The robe figure. I've been robbed! That's when he was stabbed. Look at this vision as well. This cannot be. Oh, but it can. And it is. The insight stating the accused stabbed the victim is wrong. And that is a real truth lying by this testimony of the dead. Did we just... How do they go back against this? How did he go back against? How did he go against this? How did they push back? I'm really curious how they push back now. Are you suggesting that there was someone else at the scene of the crime? We are suggesting that 110%. Yeah. Have I misunderstood the voice of Mitama? Yet again, oh no. And again, here's the thing. It's important that she understands that she can misunderstand it. It's important that she understands that it's not exactly accurate in terms of telling of its interpretation. I understand that it's not a perfect way of telling what happened in a crime. But like, it's also like hard to see like what they built this gal up at the age of 14 to be. So when the fall happens, she once again is going to feel much worse, you know? This cannot be. Oh my god, she collapsed again. She collapsed again on the concrete. Someone check on her. That was a close one. But I managed to divine the true meaning behind the seance vision somehow. Like, here's the thing. I understand that she's trying to put us to death. I want to make it clear here. She's a kid. Can someone just check on her? She fell to the ground and hit concrete. I should add these new facts to the court record. Inner sanctum diagram updated in the court record. Your benevolence, please allow me to take it from here. I will overturn the brash accusations of this faithless, putrid-minded lawyer. Guys, I'm actually going to end the video here. Because I feel like we're about to get into some other stuff here as well with Nayuta and all this stuff and him pushing back. And I think it's actually a good cliffhanger because I'm wondering how he's going to turn this over. But I think if there's one person that could do it, it's Nayuta. I think he could do it. This trial started off in like a really, I think anyway, and in a really nerve-wracking and stressful way for me. Because I actually feel like with the seance vision this time, I had a harder time than I thought it would. And it's not that like the game doesn't like do a good job of. I'm sure if I did the tutorial again, I would have been way clearer. But once again, it is, in fairness to the game, it is reading everything. But I feel like I just didn't like. I put the connections together with the lantern, but what happened was I think I just didn't click on the right part, which again is a tale as old as time in Ace Attorney. We've done it before in previous playthroughs where we clicked on something and we've been like, "Huh? I know this. This is weird, right? This is definitely wrong." And then you click on it again in a different spot and you're like, "Oh, it is that." And in fairness to Ace Attorney, they do give you a wide breadth of like error. So I'm guessing what happened is like, if I look back in the video, I might check. I probably clicked on the lantern, right? I clicked on the lantern and then I'm guessing that I clicked on the lantern and then, but at the wrong time, possibly. Because timing matters too. So maybe it was when, you know, the wind was not blowing or something like that. I clicked on it at the wrong time and I totally acknowledge that. Like the game gives you a wide breadth of like error. So I definitely failed in some way a few times there and that. But it was like a very worrying thing because I was like thinking to myself, like, you know, man, what are we going to do here? And I was, as I said, being honest, I have no problem saying if I ever get too stuck to the point I can't progress, I always tell you guys, hey, I checked this out. I remember Frambo was one of those examples where I was like, hey, I put out like a tweet being like, hey, anyone know how to get past this part in Frambo? You know, spoiler free. But sometimes like if you look up a walkthrough for these type of games, they won't spoil like this stuff or whatever. I imagine like you're not just going to have on the top of the screen like, if you want to make this person who's actually guilty, and if they do, that would be terrifying. But you know what I mean. Sometimes you have to. Sometimes I do have to. I've always said that before as well. Like it's the best case scenario, especially when you're doing a playthrough. But you have to be honest about it. You know, no one cares if you're smarter or brighter than anyone else. You know what I mean? No audience members going, hey, Calvin got it by himself. That's why I'm here. I don't think anyone's here for that. Maybe they are. I think you guys are definitely here for like the struggle and the overcoming stuff as well. Like I love that about playthroughs too. But yeah, I'm just saying no one's here like going like, man, Calvin's the smartest person ever. And then when I say like, hey, I might look up a walkthrough and someone goes, huh, not my Calvin. Nobody's saying that. But yeah, yeah, I think that this trial so far, what we've had is like a whole host of things that are relating to the seance. The seance has been like, you know, contradicted over and over again. We've seen the seance like, you know, over and over again be like changed. And it showcases that, like, to me, as I said, the error in the seance is that it's inaccurate from its first steps, but also it's the interpretation of it that can be so bad. Like, as I said earlier, the example I gave is like the wheels, like the different wheels. It misinterpreted footsteps for bells. Like, that's a big deal. That's a big change. So what we had was like, you know, like it changed the positioning of the people. It changed the assertion of where they could be standing, who was running towards who, and all this stuff. And like, if Phoenix wasn't here, they would have just said, Maya, you killed him. Look at this seance. It's over. That's it. It would have been done. And because Phoenix is here, and that's why like it's an argument of why they need defense lawyers. Because Phoenix was here, he was able to push back on so much. He was able to go, actually, no, you're in the wrong position. Actually, no, the lantern was broken. Actually, no, like this happened, that happened. But again, if Phoenix wasn't here, Maya's dead. Maya's just gone. Like, and in fact, I would say that like if, let's say there's an alternate bullcrap reality where Phoenix wasn't here, like it would have taken like 10 minutes. 10 minutes and she was dead. And that's why Phoenix's job here is more tense than ever before. Because we've had death penalty stuff before, right? We've had like life in prison stuff. We've protected kids. We've protected a lot of people. 110%. Like they've always been tense. But it's the idea here, like we're in a place that values lawyers differently, does trials differently. And we have to look at it this perspective that like, this is legitimately life or death for both Maya and Phoenix. And that's what makes it even more tense than even it was before. If they lose this, they die. If they let and that's why Phoenix has to fight so hard tooth and nail. That's why he has to claw and scratch at anything. Any slight little thread that he can pull, he has to pull on it. Because if he does not, Maya and Phoenix are gone. And it's brutal in that sense, but it's the truth. It actually is like a really, like, once again, a tense trial, an amazing trial the way they're doing this. I think now YouTube's doing a good job of like only pushing back when it needs to. I think the characterization of Rafa is one of the best characters they've done in terms of like a character who is, you know, as we said, I'm broken record. Like she's a character who's been built up to be this omnipotent being. Whatever you say is right, your seances is right, and you can see the cracks starting to show. Whenever we push back on her, she gets a red face and gets so angry because she doesn't know how to deal with those emotions because she's never lost. She's never told she's lost. And like clearly what's happening, like her father will talk about her behind her back. You know, you took her down a peg. It's like when in reality, like the best situation is like for any kid when they're younger is they play a game, they lose to their brother, they lose to their friend, they lose to somebody, they lose a game, they lose a race in school, and you go to them, look, you're going to lose sometimes, but you're going to find the stuff that you like winning at as well. And you have to explain to them, even the best people lose sometimes. The best boxers, the best fighters, they will eventually lose in some way. They're going to lose. You know? And then they understand it. But what's happening here is because she was brought up in such a way where this religion tells her she's so important. The religion tells her that she's better than everyone. So now whenever she gets pushed back, you can see the strain in her face. You can see then, but you saw the little bit of an introspection though. Where was my seances wrong again? Was I wrong this time? She's a character that I hope by the end of this game, I hope and I pray by the end of this game, at the very least we can see the seeds for change and growth. I'm not asking for a full, 180. I'm asking for a character that maybe is like, again, she's a 14-year-old kid to be like, look, thanks Phoenix, or thanks Maya, or thanks whatever. I'm hoping that in the future we focus on this more often. And I'm not saying that's going to happen, but I'd love if it did. I really would. Because again, it's one of those things where, yes, you have to call her out when she does mean things or says mean things. But her position, her personality, her emotional state, the way she treats people in the courtroom is the culture. It is with the way she's brought up. It is all this stuff. Yeah, and honestly, I can't wait to see how her character develops as well. I love that we're defending Maya. Like, of course, like Maya is like such a beautiful character. We had her, when we were talking to her in the cell there itself. There was a thing where like I am like 100%. We're behind her, and you can see that there too. Like, she gave us some insight on like the Steel Samurai stuff and like the trade of the plume thing as well. But like, it puts into perspective whenever we talk to Maya, whenever we see Maya in the courtroom. Like, I desperately just want to see her be okay. And as players, we feel what Phoenix feels, and that's what I love about games like this. The fact that I can play this game and go, I feel the same way Phoenix does in this way is an important detail. It's very important to me. I played a game earlier called Dispatch. Earlier today when I was recording some videos, and the game makes you feel the same way that Robert does in certain situations, and I think that's a really great way of playing a game, because I can take, again, as I said, I like to go along for the ride. I don't want to be separated from the story, but in this sense it's like I have a protection over Maya and I want Maya to be okay. So does Phoenix. We feel that. We're like, we don't want Maya to die in any way, shape, or form. We feel that. Apollo adores Trucy. We also adore Trucy. We don't want anything to happen in that sense too. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Thanks so much for supporting this series. It means the world to me. I'm having such a blast with this, and I hope you guys are having a fun time too. I want to say thank you to my patrons and my YouTube members at the highest tier of my YouTube and my Patreon, that being Tyver2, Jamie Bolt, Jonathan the Banana, The Ghost of Inazuma, Delicious Felix, Yule, Radish, Anusta, Lynx Markey, The Assassin, True Peanut Butter, Peter Shelson, Leon, High Kasperian, Jared Beanham, Neo Sharite, Roy 7, Glasgow Lusanagi. Those last three names were the YouTube members at the highest tier. Thank you so much for all becoming members and patrons. See you guys soon. Bye-bye.